Hey y'all, welcome back. My name's Erica and this is Books Carry Me Away. Today I want to talk to you about adult contemporary romances. They are probably my second favorite genre that I love to read. And I usually read them after that I've finished or binged an entire series and I need to kind of get over that book slump or out of that kind of headspace for that series before I move on to the next one after I read a big dense fantasy novel or something really dark or something depressing. I pick up an adult contemporary romance because I know it's got the feel good, it's going to make me happy, it's going to make me smile, hopefully it's going to make me laugh. And so these are a couple of the books that I've really enjoyed over the past couple of years. And these books also have companion series or companion novels. And I'm really excited about, having a contemporary romance series. It might not follow the characters for very long. From what I'm seeing, it's like you get the first book is the relationship of two people, and then it's either like a family member or a friend or somebody that you meet in the novel is the next book in the series or companions. So the first two books that I want to talk to you about are by Helen Hoang, and the first one in the series is The Kiss Quotient, and then the second book in the series is The Bride Test. So in The Kiss Quotient, you meet a girl named Stella. Well, she's a woman, and she has Asperger's, and it is an own voices novel, but she has Asperger's and she's able to figure out mathematical equations to help with companies and figuring out how to predict sales and things like that, but she's not able to predict guys or how her love life is going to go. And so she thinks that she is just so out of the loop and she's not able to find somebody that she needs professional help. So she hires Michael, who is a male escort, and he's also got an aspiring dream to become a fashion designer, and he has to pay off bills that he's become a male escort. But anyway, Stella hires Michael to help check off her list. And the list includes anything from French kissing to different sex positions. This is one of the steamier novels that I've read, and if you're looking for it, this will deliver. And the big thing with Michael and Stella's relationship is, they're just doing this for either the experience and getting better and, potentially moving on in Stella's case, or Michael, he's just trying to pay the bills. And then they start kind of developing feelings, and it's like, oh man, is this really like a professional relationship, or do I actually have feelings for one another? And I really enjoyed following with them. So in The Kiss Quotient, you meet Michael's cousins, and there is Quan and there's Kai. Quan is kind of like this badass softie with tattoos. He rides a motorcycle. He's really quirky, really like him. And then you find out that Michael has another cousin named Kai, who is Quan's little brother. So Kai has autism, and he believes that he is completely defective and he has no emotions whatsoever. So if he has no emotions, how can he fall in love? Well, his mom is convinced, and his brother are convinced that they can find somebody for Kai to love, or somebody to open Kai up. So his mom ends up going to Vietnam and picking up kind of like a mail order bride in this character of Esme. And Esme is a hotel cleaner at the moment, but she's got aspirations to do much bigger things. And so she comes over and she's meeting with Kai and Kai's family, and she is also going to school and trying to better herself and use that opportunity, but she's also open to love and a relationship. And so she is trying to teach Kai that he can love, that there's different ways to love, and that there is nothing wrong with him in the way he loves people. And Kai has to learn to open up himself before she returns back home to Vietnam, and it is just a sweet story. It's also just as steamy as The Kiss Quotient, but I still think this one's got a little bit more of a sweet tooth type deal for relationships versus The Kiss Quotient. That one's more like steamy. But you just love these characters, and you see Quan again, you see Michael again, and it's just super cute. Helen is also coming out, I think, with Quan's story, and it's called The Heart Principle. I believe it got pushed back till next year, sometime in 2021. So I'm really excited to follow Quan's story because he's just always kind of like a badass, fun character in these stories, and I'm excited to see kind of his love story and how that all pans out for him. So the next book that I want to talk about is Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. This was a recent read for me, I think back in March, and I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. If you are a romantic comedy movie buff, you are going to love this story of Annie, who is a screenplay writer, and she aspires to be the next Nora Ephron, and she wants to write all the romantic comedies that have Tom Hanks in it. And so she's waiting to meet her Tom Hanks. So Annie meets the lead actor of this movie that's filming in her town, and his name is Drew, and he could be the furthest away from Tom Hanks, or so she thinks. And she's in charge of taking care of him and making sure his needs are met, and she finds out that even though he's in a romantic comedy movie, he hasn't seen any of the romantic comedies that has like made up her life. So she begins kind of teaching him in the romantic comedy ways as well, and then they kind of open up, and you see their relationship open up from enemies to potentially lovers. And it's just a super cute romance set in Columbus, and Annie has a coffee shop that she loves to go and sit and write her screenplays, and her best friend Chloe works at the coffee shop, and she works with this guy named Nick. And I think that's where Carrie is taking us in the next book in the series. And I believe that one comes out on my birthday, July 7th. And it's called Not Like the Movies. And I'm so excited about it. Because these were just so cute. And I hope that there's still the romantic comedy tidbits throughout the book, like in this one, because that was what made it kind of fun. So I've got high hopes, and I hope it'll be just as good. So the next book is Well Met by Jen DeLuca. Everything I read has been super cute, but I'm going to say it again. This one was a super cute, fun, nerdy Renaissance fair romp, and I loved it. I've never been to a Renaissance fair, but now I feel like I want to go and need to go after reading this. This is about Emily, and Emily is coming into Willow Creek, Maryland. It's a small town because her sister and her niece got in a car accident, and her sister needs some help just kind of around the house, and then to make sure that her niece is able to do all the things that she needs to do over the summer since she's in high school. So her niece feels like and wants to participate in the town's annual Renaissance fair, and this town does Renaissance fairs right. It has been in this one family for years and years and years, and it's Simon, and it is his family tradition to run it. But she finds out Simon is an irritating jerk a little bit, and he is one of the teachers at her niece's high school. So they kind of have this clashing relationship right off the bat. And Simon doesn't think that Emily is very serious, and he takes this Renaissance fair very seriously. It's very close to his heart. It's like his family's legacy. So on the first day, Emily is assigned to be a tavern wench, and she's there serving beers with her friend Stacy, and she is standing there, and this guy walks into the tavern, and he's in the full Renaissance thing. He's one of the players in the Renaissance fair, and it's a sexy pirate, and it's like, what is this? And then she's turned on by this sexy pirate. She hears all of him, just his swagger, his air, his confidence, and then she realizes it's Simon. And it becomes kind of like this cat and mouse game of Emily and Simon playing in this tavern wench character and this pirate character, to where they even kind of get confused if this is them just playing around, or are they actually starting to develop feelings for each other. And Emily's like, am I going to stick around in this small town? This was supposed to be just a pit stop. And it was just super cute. The only thing I had, I think, a problem with was the fight that they have and just kind of how quick it sums up. But I still loved the atmosphere, the characters in the book. I'm really excited because Jen is doing 3 books so far, I think is planned in the series on Goodreads. So the next one is Well Played, and it follows Emily's friend Stacy, so the other tavern wench. And it comes out September 22nd, and it's supposed to follow Stacy, and she is always lived in this small town. She's always been a part of the Renaissance fair, but she believes she's done flirting with everybody, and she just wants to find the one. And at this Renaissance fair every year, there is this band, or this group of musicians, which is a band. She meets a musician named Dex, And she, I think, exchanges numbers with Dex, and they kind of communicate throughout the year, and she starts feeling like he's the one. But then whenever they show back up in town for the Renaissance Fair the following year, Dex has no idea what she's talking about, and she finds out that she has been talking to somebody she doesn't even know. So I think that sounds super interesting, and I'm really pumped, and I can't wait until September to read that. I also think April, which is Emily's sister, is getting the third novel in the series, and it's supposed to be well matched. So I think that comes out the following year. But either way, I'm going to keep continuing on. Hopefully it's set in the Renaissance kind of fair world romp, as long as she keeps putting these out. So excited. The next book that I have is The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. And this is a recent read for me, and the story is about Gavin, who is a Nashville baseball player, and his wife Thea. And Gavin finds out after a night of passion that Thea has been faking her big O forever in their relationship. They have 2 kids. He thought everything was perfect, and obviously it's not. So they confront each other about different things, and it brings up different parts in their relationship in regards to Thea feeling like she had to put her life on hold as an artist and going to school because he became a big baseball star. And so it's about Gavin trying to find a way to communicate and portray love in both a physical and an emotional way to his wife that wants to get a divorce. So his friends, it's a couple other guys, I think, on his baseball team. There's even I think it's a hockey league member, a couple of like the big society people, club owners, things like that, have this undercover or the Bromance Book Club that they read romance novels, and they pick apart the romance novels to find ways to communicate with women and to make their romances in either like dating, their relationship with girlfriends, or relationships with their wives. And so Gavin is reading a novel and trying to apply those to his relationship, and it's just super cute. So you meet these other characters in the Bromance Book Club that Gavin kind of befriends throughout the novel, and one of them is Brandon Mack. He's kind of a little bit of he gets under your skin, and I'm a little nervous to read the Undercover Bromance, which is already out, and it follows his story. The one character that I think is gonna save it for me is Thea's sister, is I think one of the main characters, and I think it's their relationship, because I think at one point in the novel he bumps into Thea's sister, and he thinks she's like the hottest thing known to mankind. So he's like, his sole goal now is to seduce her, and he thinks, oh yeah, I am a big, master because I've read all these romance novels. So I am a little excited to read it because I just want to see it, where it goes. So that's that one. The next book is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. This was a surprise for me. I've never read any historical romance before, and I was really kind of hesitant to do it because I don't know, I'm not really into that time period type thing, and I'm even struggling to pick up Jane Austen novels, so I was like, how am I going to read a romance? But I heard so many good things about this book from Instagram, from YouTube, that I was like, okay, I guess I need to pick this thing up. And it was so good. Like all my other novels, it was a enemies to lovers. The story is set in England in 1879, and you're following Annabelle Archer, and she is one of the first female students at Oxford University. And part of her deal is that she is supposed to get involved into the women's suffragist movement. And as she's involved in the women's suffragist movement, she has to go out into lobby, and they go into Parliament Square, and she bumps into a very brooding man, very stuck up, but he's also very attractive. And of course he is. She's able to hold her own against this guy, and everybody sees her, and she goes back for the meeting, and she finds out that it is the Duke of Montgomery, and he is a very influential guy in British society, and they need his vote. She is assigned to try to meet up with him and talk with him. She ends up at his house, ends up sick, has to stay longer, So you start to see these enemies become friends, and then could friends become lovers. And it is just, it's good in the sense of he's a brooding character, but he's not a complete asshole. He can be a jerk, but he's not an asshole. I don't like books where they're just, it's like, God, why would you even go near that? It was like, okay, he's just got a hard outer shell that you need to break, and then he's a softie, and and the love, so good. You meet some of Annabelle's fellow women suffragists, and the first one is Lucille, who is kind of like the head rallier, and then you meet Hattie and Katerina, and I believe this is a League of Extraordinary Women novel, and so it's going to be a series, and I think each one of her friends that we've met in this book is going to get their own novel. So the next book is called A Rogue of One's Own, and I believe that it's coming out in September. I'll put the release date up here, but I believe that it follows Lucille and Tristan, and Tristan is this other guy that Annabelle kind of bumped into, and he's kind of known as the ladies' man around court. And so I believe that Lucille and Tristan have kind of like a back relationship we don't know about, or at least some hostility. And so I'm excited to see them, because I feel like, you know, ladies' man and this really strong willed woman are going to play off of each other really nice. So I'm excited to pick that up whenever it comes out. Also willing to explore the historical romance genre a little bit more. Not the first thing I'm going to go to pick up, but I've been watching The Peruse Project, has been kind of obsessed with kind of like this romance genre at the moment with quarantine. She's kind of fallen in love with it, and I've been taking notes on ones that I need to pick up and try. So I am excited to try a little bit more of this genre. Next two books that I'm going to talk about are books that I haven't read yet, but they are on my TBR, but they also have companion novels coming out. So the first one is Fix Her Up by Tessa Daly. I believe that the next book in this series, which I think is Love or Lose Her, is already out. And I haven't picked that one up yet because I haven't read the first one, so I'm going to make sure I like it. But this one, from what I hear and what I've read on the back, is that it's about Georgette, who is actually a party planner, a kid's party planner, and she is the town clown. Her family also owns the kind of renovation business in town, and she's over being the clown. She wants to be taken seriously. She wants to find love because nobody wants to go on the date with the town clown. So she kind of, I think, picks up her brother's best friend, who was a baseball player, somehow got injured, and now he's doing home renovations. And so it's a pretend dating trope, which I'm really, intrigued by and excited to read about. So I think I'll pick this one up hopefully in the next couple months, and then see if I don't pick up Love and Lose Her as well. So the other one that I don't have currently is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I've heard so many good things about this in BookTube and Instagram, and I feel like I've got to pick it up. I haven't picked up any more adult contemporary romances physically, because I've got a ton and I need to start reading them. So I do have this on hold on my library, and because of its popularity, the list is so long, and I'm just waiting to hear back. What I've heard about Get a Life, Chloe Brown, is that Chloe has fibromyalgia, that she potentially gets hit by a car, and after that she thinks that's her rude awakening and she needs to change her life, and that there's a guy involved, and that, I don't know if it's her apartment tenant, and that he's always kind of been in love with her, but she's never noticed. So I think that's what I've heard. And then I believe that Chloe also has sisters, so that is the companion novels, and I believe that there's 2 other sisters, so probably a total of 3 novels, and I think it's coming out fairly soon, and people are really hyped about it and excited about it. So this is the adult contemporary romances that have companion novels or a continuation in the series, and it might not follow the couples that we meet in book 1, but at least gives us like these little Easter eggs of like either the characters that we love, we see them again, or just even continuing on the series with all the girls or all the friends, brothers, sisters, cousins that we loved to meet in these novels. And if there are any other adult contemporary romances or companion novels to a series that I need to add onto my TBR, please let me know down in the comments section. And until my next video, guys, I hope you guys get wrapped up in a good book and get carried away by the story. Bye, y'all.